Good morning, Math 7 students. This is our third unit. This is our first lesson. It's very, very important. It has a lot of vocabulary in it, if you couldn't already tell. This vocabulary is really important because it does follow you all the way through to algebra. I will be doing the same exact vocabulary with maybe one or two extra words with you in ninth grade. So the sooner you memorize these, the happier you will be. So we're going to do, I think, maybe 3 or 4 definitions at a time and do some examples to go along with those. So this is algebraic expression vocabulary. The first vocabulary word is variable. And a variable is an unknown number represented by a letter. So the key thing that we're focusing on there is that this can be any letter whatsoever. Variables can be any letter. There are some letters that we stay away from because of how they look like numbers. Like O looks like a 0, so we kind of stay away from O. S's can get a little sketchy and can look like 5, so we try to stay away from those. But it can be any letter. It could be K. The most common ones are X and Y. You might see A and B, Z's. There's really any letter that you can use, and they just all represent an unknown number. Our next definition is an algebraic expression. That's what this whole unit is on and is focusing on, algebraic expressions. So an expression has no equal sign. Expression cannot have an equal sign. That's different from an equation. And because it's algebraic, it needs to have at least one of those variables in it, one of those letters. Also, it can contain numbers and operations. So add, subtract, multiply, divide. So some examples of an algebraic expression would be something like 3x minus 7 plus 4y. That's an algebraic expression. It's got at least one variable, numbers, operations, and stuff like that. You could just simply also, like 5z. That's an algebraic expression also. It has no equal sign, at least one variable, and has some numbers. So those are expressions, algebraic expressions. Not to be confused with an equation. When we're looking at an equation must have an equal sign. Equation, it sounds like it says equal right in it, basically. So equation must have an equal sign. It's when two expressions are set equal to each other, shockingly enough. Oops. So an example of that, it could have variables or it could not. We're going to deal with a lot of things that have variables. So something like 3x plus 7 is equal to 10. It could also, an equation could also be without variables. 5 times 2 is also equal to 10. Both of those are examples of equations because they both have equal signs in them. So like I said, we're going to do 3 at a time, and then we'll break for the next 3.